Hello everybody. I hope you all had a lovely summer break and are excited to start learning again now that autumn term is here. Today's story is The Snail and the Whale. Again, it's one of our favourite authors, Julia Donaldson, and the pictures are done by Axel Scheffler. You may have seen this story on the TV. I'm sure if you go on YouTube you can find it because it's been done as an animation. Oh, lovely seaside. This is the tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is the rock, as black as soot, and this, you see, is the snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. So she's looking here over the sea and at all the boats and wishing that she could go too. These are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wriggle, sit still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed, then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a lift." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a slithery trail that looped and curled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." Oh my goodness, who's this? This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tail of the humpback whale. There it is, there's his tail. He held it out of the starlit sea and he said to the snail, "Come sail with me." There's the snail climbing off the rock and onto the tail. Where have they gone? Do you know what these creatures are? Live in very cold places. They're penguins. This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs. It's an iceberg. And far off lands. Oh, this is different. Goodness me! With fiery mountains and golden sands. Look, do you know what this is called? It's a volcano. Look, this is a hot beach. There's a turtle. And, oh, right over here, there's a monkey in the tree. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Ooh, under the water. Ooh, what's this? It's a shark and an octopus. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam round the whale and the snail on his tail. There they are. Ooh. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Oh, do you get frightened by thunderstorms? They can be a bit scary sometimes. Wow, look at that. There's a And she gazed at the sky, the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all. And she said to the whale, "I feel so small." But then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. This is the tide slipping away. Oh dear, the poor whale, he's stuck on the beach. And this is the whale lying beached in a bay. "Quick, off the sand, back in the sea," cried the snail. "I can't move on land, I'm too big," moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then she said, "I've got it," and started to crawl. "I must not fail," said the tiny snail. What do you think such a tiny snail can possibly do to help the whale? Hope she finds something. This is the bell on the school in the bay, bringing the children in from their play. This is their teacher, holding her chalk, telling the class, "Sit straight, don't talk." This is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with an itchy foot. "A snail, a snail!" Teacher turns pale. "Look," said the children, "it's leaving a trail." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, "Save the whale." What a clever snail! These are the children running from school, fetching the fireman, digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. Look, they're all gone to help, and they know that the whale must be covered with water. This is the tide coming into the bay, and these are the villagers shouting, "Hooray!" as the whale and the snail travel safely away. Phew! Wow, goodness me, that was quite an adventure. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, "How time's flown, and haven't you grown?" Look, where is she? She's on the end here. She's quite a big snail now. And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. Look, there they all are, going off on an adventure with the whale. Bye-bye, see you soon.